What's going on, family?
YouTube, Famiglia. It is the world's tallest midgets. Back at it again. It's been a while since
After a big hiatus that we took,
our last. We actually filmed a review for Ant-Man, but I never uploaded it because I forgot. But
we were that disappointed.
So yeah, we just got out of watching Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I think it doesn't have a title, right? That was it.
It was just called Volume 3, yeah.
It wasn't called like the Ballad of Raccoon or like a Raccoon of Rocket. It didn't have any name like that, but yeah. So going to this movie, besides Ant-Man, it was the only movie I had a lot of excitement for. You know, Marvel lately, I was not feeling, and neither of us were. After Infinity War, the only movie I really enjoyed was No Way Home, which was really good. But besides that, I haven't enjoyed any of the other MCU movies. Black Panther 2, I didn't enjoy. Multiverse of Madness was, whatever. And I've just felt really let down by everything Marvel has been doing. And then we get Ant-Man Quantumania, and that one we were both excited going into it. I was more excited for Guardians, but that one I still had hope because I did enjoy the first two Ant-Man movies, and that one just completely sucked. I gave it like a 3 out of 10. It was just trash. Like I hated that movie. But my last glimmer of hope, my last little sliver of hope for the MCU still being decent was this movie because James Gunn has not done us wrong. I love the first two Guardians movies. They're some of my favorite MCU movies. The second one I've seen maybe like 7 times. I've watched it, I think, more than Infinity War because of how much I love it. And so I was really excited for this movie. I could not wait. And we watched it in 4DX with X, like Tyrone Magna says. We saw it with some friends, and opening night. We just got out like 2 hours ago. And honestly, it's based on my expectations. It wasn't as good as I expected. It wasn't horrible, but it was kind of a letdown, to be honest. What about you? What were your thoughts going into it?
So I gave JC my top 5 most anticipated movies of this year. Flash is number 1. Number 2 is Spider-Man. Number 3 was, I believe, Ant-Man, and this was number 4. So this was a top 5 most excited movie for me. Most anticipated. And guys, like JC said, I was super disappointed.
Yeah, for one, I'm not sure if it was just our theater, and this is maybe nitpicking, but when the movie started, and again, this was 40X, usually the sound is really good. It was super quiet. Like, the characters were talking, the beginning action scenes.
It started very slow.
Yeah, it was very slow and also very quiet. You could hear everyone in the theater talking, and I was like, is this movie just like quiet naturally, or was it just our theater? But anyways, the movie, we're not going to do spoilers, but movie largely is Rocket's backstory as it showed in the trailers. And essentially we went into it really hoping for some really like gut-wrenching stuff. I was expecting to see moments that would make me cry, like just stuff that's really brutal, but I felt like James Gunn wanted to do that, but he kind of backed out and really just like under-delivered like what I was expecting. A lot of the jokes in the movie didn't work for me. They didn't land. The plot was good, but again, I feel like they could have done it better. It was a lot of like how the Mandalorian is, where you have to do different side quests. Like, oh, we have to get this thing. Oh no, but now we have to go to this place to get the other thing because this thing didn't work. And based on the trailers, I really expected for at least 1 or 2 of the Guardians to die. Not that would make the movie good, but I was expecting like something really like hard hitting, something that would like be like a ballsy move, like something that someone would sacrifice themselves. But no, like no one in the movie dies. They kind of like fake you out in the trailer. There are sad scenes, but all the sad scenes are like about Rocket's past. But nothing in the movie really like happens that changes the stakes of anything. I guess the characters like mature and develop, but I was just expecting so much more, man. I was expecting like, again, for one of the characters to die. I was expecting for them to like really go through a big change, but I mean they do, but it's like, again, it's more like just in their personality, I guess, or their character. Adam Warlock, in my opinion, was the worst part. He was completely wasted. His makeup just did not look good. It looked like they just got the actor.
They
and
basically
put
made
Party
this man.
City.
They made this man
Yeah.
into a huge mama's boy, a
Yeah.
straight up pushover.
It looked like they just got yellow face paint from Party City, painted him. Like you don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy or an anti-hero. It was just all over the place. He was like a dork. He kept falling over himself. At the end, he kind of redeems himself, but you can tell that they just put him in this movie because he was hinted at in the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 in the post credits. But there's just a lot of this movie I just did not feel. The parts I did like were again what everyone else liked, like Rocket's background. But even that, I wish they would have explored it more. I wish that
No,
they
look.
would've-
The problem with this movie is that there was two movies put into one, and I feel like the Rocket story was definitely intriguing and it was very
Yeah.
compelling. The problem is, like I told JC after we got out the theater, the first thing I thought about, like, I think this would have been very beneficial to Disney and Marvel if they would have made this actually into a show. This is actually a show I actually would want to see in Disney Plus.
Yeah, unfortunately, they would never go that dark.
Yeah, and unfortunately too is that because of what they did with this, having two different stories crash into one, it made the movie very sloppy and it dragged way too long. This movie is 2 hours and a half. They needed to cut 30 minutes for this to be
Yeah.
actually a decent movie.
It was half an hour too long, and that ties
Way
into
too long.
a lot of the comedic scenes. Dude, they just not land.
They did not land.
The Guardians movie, for like the longest time, have been known for having the best humor.
Yes.
The first two movies had scenes that, dude, in the theater, I was dying. I was cracking up. Even watching at home, I would be laughing. And this one, there may be one or two jokes that like were funny, but you can tell that they're trying to just copy the magic of the first two. But besides that, none of the jokes really landed for me all that much. A lot of the humor would undercut the dramatic moments where the characters are like, arguing, or they're having like, like they're really like exposing how they feel about certain things, and then there'll be like a random joke or they'll throw something in to kind of cloud it. And yeah, there was just like a lot of stuff that lost me. To be honest, I really wanted to love this movie, but throughout the whole time watching it, even in 40X, I was just staring.
Don't watch it in 40X. This is not a good 40X movie.
We didn't fall asleep, but we were just like, just staring. Like, it was not like a really good experience.
It wasn't.
Honestly, watching it, I know a lot of people said that they cried, that they loved it, they gave it 10 out of 10.
No.
I don't know how. I mean, we went with two friends that they know Marvel, but usually they're very positive. They give a lot of movies.
Berto gave a good score.
A lot of our friends, they give like 8, 9 out of 10. And even them, like, at
No,
first
one of them did
yeah.
give it 8 out of 10.
Yeah, but then
he always gives everything 8
Yeah,
out
but
of
then
10.
afterwards, we kind of like, no, we didn't talk him down, but we kind of like told him our points.
He still
and
gave it
was
8 out of
still-
10. No, he still gave it 8
Yeah,
out of 10.
but even him, like,
But the other one, there's another homeboy
Yeah.
that he usually gives most Marvel movies a good score, and even he said it. He legit, as soon as it was over, he turned to me and he's like, honestly, if not for the comedic relief and the emotional parts, this movie's not really that good.
Yeah.
I didn't even say that to him first. I'm usually very critical. He's usually the more positive person, and he turned to me and said that. And I told him, bro, you just exactly regurgitated everything that I was thinking.
Yeah, and honestly, before we get to the ending, like, there was a scene where they're in like this giant base that's made of organic matter. I felt like that stuff was just, I don't know. It
was a
just
waste
felt
of
like,
time.
Yeah, it felt like a waste of time. I know they went there to get Rocket's file or whatever, but I felt like it just, like, the movie was a lot of it was forgettable for me, which, like, Guardians 1 and 2 were not like that. Thor Ragnarok was not like that. Those movies I could, like, quote scene for scene because of how good it was in my opinion, how much I love them, how much I enjoy them. But this is a movie I cannot see myself rewatching. Like, those movies are just comforting and really funny, but this one was just like, damn.
It's
it
just
was
a
not
huge
as good.
disappointment. So
And
disappointed.
To me, one of the worst parts was the ending. Like, basically when they get back to the home planet and they save the day, it felt like a freaking PBS Kids special when Rocket puts a song on his little iPod and then the whole village starts dancing. Like, Groot starts dancing and then everyone else, and then Nebula is like laughing and dancing, and then Rocket dances along. I was like, dude, I feel like I'm watching a PBS Barney special where they're doing the cleanup song at the end. I don't know why I got goosebumps from cringing. Like, again, I sound like an idiot, but I was like, no, what are they doing? And then after that, there's like a bit more, the post-credit scenes and all that. But the ending was just so stupid. Again, people loved it because it was positive, but I wanted something a bit more somber, something that, would be more lasting. But none of the characters died. I felt like there were no stakes. Nothing really changed. Like, again, they went through like emotional, I guess, changes, but they basically just are happier now after the movie.
Yeah. But that being said, let's wrap it up. But that being said, guys, this is not a movie you got to run to the theater to watch. You do not have to stay for the 2 end credit scenes. They're not worth it, honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah. Honestly.
They were. I straight up said like this was a waste of time. It was. All right, so I guess let's just rate the movie because I don't want this the video to go longer than 11 minutes. But guys, in my rating system, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10, straight up, just slightly above average. But honestly, the plot and the storytelling was not good, and I'm actually shocked coming from a James Gunn movie.
I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 3. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna give you imagine
2 out of 3. That's a 2 out of 3. For those bodybuilders, y'all know what
Greg Doucette, and he did the video where he's breaking down protein bars, and this man was giving everything out of 3 stars.
And he'll be like, "Oh, this was horrible. 2 out of 3."
Yeah, like this was amazing. 1.5 out of 3.
It's like, wait, what?
But no, I give it like a 6.5 out of 10. When it first ended, I was like a 7, but I was thinking about it, and I was like, man, I just was not really enjoying myself in this movie, honestly, at all. I know I said non-spoilers, but we did spoil it, so I'll make sure to put spoiler review because most people don't put spoiler reviews, so feel like we'll be that one. But yeah, again, I'm sure when people loved it, but just I don't know, it was disappointing to us, but let us know what y'all think.
Yes, and just before we cut off, I do want to give you guys right now where Rotten Tomatoes is giving it. I don't know if you guys
79 critics and then 96 audience. The 96 audience score is insane. I don't know what crack they're smoking.
Hold up. You guys So audience is giving it 96, which is unbelievable. And I told them coming out of theater, I said, there's no way this movie gets below 90. No way.
Nope. That's what I give the first 2, maybe.
At least the critics are being a little more honest, but I'm pretty sure the critics' score is going to continue to go down as the weekend goes off.
Because it started at 81 and now it's 79.
And it's probably going to be like hovering around that 65 to like 70. So,
yeah.
But yeah, guys, that was the review. For those that loved it, if you like it, I love it. It is what it is. Us personally, we were disappointed, but hey, if you guys loved it, that's you.
More power to you.
More power to y'all.
All right, y'all. Good night.
Thank you guys for watching us.
Midgets tuning out.
Signing out, baby.